September 20th, 2016, Donald Trump is running against the Democrat Party, the Republican Party, and the mainstream media, and he's going to win. I'll tell you why when we come back. I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance.
Those who forsake the law praise the wicked. Those who uphold the law resist them. Welcome to the Voice of Resistance. Here's your host, Randall Terry.
When I discuss what I believe is the inevitability of Trump's victory, it's not inevitable really, but that he's going to win on November 8th, some people will corkscrew look at me like, oh, how can you be so sure? What do you think about it? What do you know that we don't know? What I know is grassroots Republican activists, and I have made a study of people who call themselves independents. Now, again, so that full disclosure here, I ran for the U.S. House in 1998, and the Republican machinery raised hundreds of thousands of dollars to defeat me in a Republican primary. Okay? The Republican machinery, headed by 4 Republican governors, Pataki of New York, Christie Todd Whitman of New Jersey, Weld of Massachusetts, and Wilson of California. Those 4 governors, pro-abortion to the man and the woman, all got together and started a fundraising machine to destroy me politically. And they did. I'm not a stranger to this. Same thing happened in 2006 in Florida for the state Senate there against Jim King, Republican machinery. So I've been a political activist. I've been a candidate. I've helped other candidates, raised a ton of money, showed commercials all over the country. I ran against Obama in the Democratic primary in 2012, and I beat him in 14 counties in the primary in Oklahoma, okay? That really got under their skin big time. So the reason I can say with confidence that Trump is going to win is because of people like me. We don't make up a majority, but we make up enough of a minority to deliver an unshakable voting bloc for Trump that has had it with the Republican Party. Then there's another little bloc that has had it with the Democratic Party. Some of Bernie's supporters who are just disgusted by Hillary. And one poll I read this morning said that the Hispanics are starting to defect to Trump. So the reason that I believe that Trump is going to win the election is because there's nothing that the mainstream press can say that is going to make me not vote for him. There's nothing they can say. If Hillary is, let's talk about Hillary's health for a minute. If you watched various news outlets and read various stories when she, play that clip, would you please? So look at her, all right? She's clearly either in the middle of passing out or having what is possibly some type of a seizure. Something is going on neurologically, in my opinion, or she's just flat out passing out. Because not only are her feet wobbling, but that weird jerk in her head. And if those people had not been on either side of her and literally caught her before she slammed face down on the floor of that van, she was going down. She lost her shoe, okay? So it takes them 48 hours, and then they say she's got non-bacterial pneumonia. Special thanks to Rush Limbaugh for saying on the air that in the diagnosis book, there's no such thing as non-contagious bacterial pneumonia. It's a made-up disease. Her doctor put out something that no other doctor would go, oh, I know what that is. No. And now the New York Times is saying that the Clinton campaign is not being forthcoming, that there are, in fact, health issues that we still do not know about. The Drudge Report has been hammering on this for weeks, and they were getting just skewered by the national press The Washington Post mocking Drudge, saying enough is enough. She's fine, she's healthy. And then the collapse happened. And it wasn't a sweltering day. Okay, it was in the mid-70s. No one else was sweltering. I mean, you want to know sweltering, go to the Deep South, okay? So the mainstream media is doing everything that they can to protect Hillary, but the problem is that it's still the age of the internet. The Drudge Report is still out there. Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity are still out there. And there's enough outlets to get the news out that regardless of Facebook's suppressing of the news or their screwed up algorithm programs, the truth is getting out. Something is wrong with Hillary's health, and they're not being forthcoming about it. All right? And there's people out there like me who have had it. We don't care. We don't care what Mitch McConnell says. We don't care what John Boehner used to say. We don't care what Paul Ryan says. We don't care what Karl Rove says. A pox on all of you. Okay? I'm going to take a break. I didn't mean that. Pax Christi. Pax means peace, by the way. I'll be right back. I'm going to show you a clip from our upcoming serial documentary. You're not going to want to miss it. If you own a business and would like to advertise on our program, please contact us. We are currently seen on over 130 television stations from coast to coast. We air at 8 p.m. Eastern, and then all times are local. We have a lot of reach, friend, and this is an opportunity at a great price for you to get your product or your service in front of hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of people. Also, if there's something that's important to you and you'd like to have a month where you just say thank you to this ministry or promote a certain ministry or a certain cause, contact us. Our rates are incredibly affordable. You'd be surprised. And you, again, can reach into hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of homes. We're currently seen possibly in over 30 million homes. So give us a call, give us an email, and we'll put a commercial up for you. I have to say this before we show you the clip. I was watching CNN the other night, and it was about Hillary's health. They had a panel. There was 8 people on the panel, and there was one person who was supposed to be, the voice of the Republican, and they were like little children. So, mind you, Hillary has just had some crazy episode where she's either passing out or having a seizure. Something's going really wrong. And they are saying, well, it's not that big a deal. And then they turn it around. I'm not making this up. They turn it around, and then like 7th graders, they're talking about Donald Trump's health. Like they had, and they didn't have anything, well, he gave that letter to Oz on TV, and how ridiculous is that? No, Hillary's the one with the health problem, people. I was actually, as a TV host, I was embarrassed for them. I was truly embarrassed. All right, I'm gonna play for you. Let me give you some quick background here. One of the reasons that we have not been doing live shows for the past 4 weeks is we have just been pouring ourselves into finishing the serial documentary called What Would Mohammed Do? Islamic Terrorism Explained. All right, this is a serial documentary like you'd see on PBS or History Channel. It's 10 episodes. And then there's also an extras reel. I've been 10 years researching this, 2 years, just shy of 2 years in production, okay? Voice actors, artists, special effects, animation, fancy cameras, all of it. And more research than you will get anywhere in the world. So we are now in the process of releasing it. We went to Brussels, Belgium, to release it with French and Dutch subtitles. We are now working with a representative from various parties in Europe who want a stop to the influx of Muslim immigrants because of the fear of terrorism. So this thing it's got a long shelf life coming. This is not like a movie where it's out for 4 weeks and then it goes to DVD and then everyone forgets about it. No, this is a definitive work. I'm going to play you a clip right now And then I'm going to tell you how that you can get all 10 episodes for yourself. I hope that you enjoyed. This is from episode 1, which is entitled The Traditions of the Prophet. That's in quotes. European nations are being overrun by militant Muslims entering under the guise of being refugees. Many of them are not refugees. They're insurgents. They bring a battle plan that is 1,400 years old and a blueprint for what nations will look like if they are victorious. Terrorists have also infiltrated America, Canada, Australia, and nations across the globe under the guise of refugees, or simply as legal immigrants, such as the San Bernardino terrorist, Tashfeen Malik. To know our enemy and defend ourselves from this onslaught of Islamic terrorism, we have to focus on one man, Muhammad. Muhammad, the founder of Islam. It is the events and stories from Muhammad's life, more than anything else, that form the narrative, the motivating storyline for Muslim terrorists. And the truth is, most of us in non-Muslim nations know nothing about Muhammad, nothing about his life, his words, his example, and his companions. And the history of Muhammad's life, while foreign to us, is central to all of Islam. Before going forward, I want to say a word to our Muslim viewers. Some of what you'll see and hear may be new to you. Some of it may be upsetting. My commitment to you and to all our viewers is to honestly portray Muhammad's life and mission as recorded by the most trusted Islamic historians and scholars. You can check every reference for yourself to see that we are accurately reporting the events of Muhammad's life. To understand Islam, Islamic law, Islamic governments, and unfortunately, Islamic terrorism, we must study Muhammad's words and the critical events in Muhammad's life, and thus the example he left his followers. In Islamic writings, Muhammad's example is known as the traditions of the Prophet. Another word Muslims use for Muhammad's traditions is sunnah. Sunnah means a way of life, a behavior that is followed or to be imitated. And the written record of Muhammad's traditions and sunnah is called the hadith. So, the traditions of the Prophet, the sunnah, and the hadith are used together to focus on Muhammad's words and example, which in Islamic thought is the model for a Muslim's behavior. The Quran says of Muhammad,
"Indeed, in the Messenger of Allah, you have a good example to follow. He who obeys the Messenger has obeyed Allah."
Muslim theologian Dr. Muhammad Ali Al-Kuli states,
The Holy Quran is the exact words of Allah, God, and is the main source of Islam. The second source of Islam is Hadith, the traditions of Prophet Muhammad. These traditions were also revealed to Prophet Muhammad by Allah. The prophetic traditions, Muhammad's example, are an essential part of Islam, a fact confirmed by Allah in the Holy Quran. A Muslim is to obey Allah through abiding by the Holy Quran and abiding by the prophetic traditions.
but not only is a Muslim's personal behavior based upon Muhammad's example, entire Muslim governments are founded on Muhammad's traditions. For example, the Constitution of Saudi Arabia states,
The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is a sovereign Arab Islamic state with Islam as its religion. God's book, the Quran, and the Sunnah of His Prophet are its constitution. Government in Saudi Arabia derives power from the Holy Quran and the Prophet's tradition. The courts will apply the rules of Islamic Sharia law in accordance with what is indicated in the book, the Quran, and the Sunnah.
when we consider how oppressive the Saudi Arabian government is, we must remember its laws are based on the traditions and dictates of Muhammad, the founder of Islam. Well, I hope you enjoyed that small clip. Every episode has all original music, a completely original music score for all 10 episodes. This series is available on DVD. It will be coming out shortly. You can go rent it right now. If you want to purchase it online, to stream it, or to download it, go to our website. Go to our website, voiceofresistance.com, and you can order it. And I can promise you this, you will learn more from these 10 episodes than from anything you've ever read or anything you've ever watched, ever. Because I know what's out there, because I've been working on this for 2 years, 10 years of research. So I ask you for your prayers. I ask you for your prayers, because this is making some people really angry. And when we come back, we'll tell you what languages are coming and why. Don't go away. I'm Randall Terry. You're watching Voice of Resistance. Friend, this program is supported by friends like you who believe in what we are doing. We run a very tight ship. Thankfully, we are on over 130 stations across the country, having tremendous impact. We get emails every day. We get letters in the mail, not every day, but almost every day. We hear from people who love what we're doing. What people don't understand is that it's sort of expensive to produce a television show like this. It doesn't require earth-shattering funds, but it does require financial help. So I am asking you, if you enjoy this program, throw us a $10 or a $20 bill every once in a while, or even a $50 or a $100 check. You see the address there on the screen. Your gifts are not tax deductible, by the way, because we want to be able to say what we want to say regarding politics without the IRS telling us no. So if you like the program, I ask for your support. We are releasing this serial documentary, What Would Muhammad Do? Islamic Terrorism Explained. We ultimately will release this in at least 14 languages. As of today, right now, we have released it in English, and we've also released it with Dutch subtitles and with French subtitles. All 10 episodes, done by probably the largest company in the world that does that. Paid the money, and it looks great. We will do it in Italian, German. We'll do it in Arabic. We are going to release What Would Muhammad Do in Arabic. If you have a country or a language group that you are particularly fond of and want to see it released with subtitles in that language, please contact us. It's about, what do we pay, about $1,800 an episode? It's about $1,800 per episode. So we broke the bank to do it in French and Dutch because I was going to Belgium to release the film and needed it to be in French and Dutch. So we had a press conference. We had media in the room who were watching and reading the French subtitles. So I was very thankful for the contacts that we made there, because this serial documentary, well, there's nothing like it. There's just nothing like it. So you can go to our website right now, voiceofresistance.com, and you can watch all of episode 1 uninterrupted. So if you want to see episode 1 in its entirety, be our guest, no charge. If you want to get the whole series, after seeing that, you can see what all the different episodes are about. If you want to get the series, you can order it. And I can tell you that we're getting rave reviews. And I'm thankful for the kind words of people. We've spent a lot of time and a lot of money to do this, to make it of the quality that could air on any network and has content that no one else has pulled together for a television or a movie documentary. No one's done it. The material is there, And as you'll notice when you watch it, every single quote that we use of Muhammad, of the Hadith, of the Quran, of the biographies, every single one, there's references, and usually there's anywhere from 2 to 8 references. When we talk about the fact that Muhammad had sex slaves, we're not, taking some obscure little quote one place. We're overwhelming the viewer with one reference after another so they can freeze frame it and they can go look up the references themselves. This is Muhammad's life as recorded by his most trusted historians, the people that were his immediate companions, okay? And as they tell the story. So what we have with Islamic terrorism, I'm going to explain when we come back. I want to invite you to go to our website. Almost every book that I have ever written is available as a PDF online for free. We have a ton of products, training materials, tools that are available for you for free. All we ask for is that you give us your email address. That's it, so that we can stay in touch with you and, yes, from time to time, ask you to support this work. So I'm inviting you, go to the website. Now, for those of you who say, well, I don't want a PDF, I want a real book. You can get one of my books. All you have to do is pay for shipping and handling and then give whatever gift you want. And if you can't afford anything, we'll send you the book for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Why are we doing all this? Because we want to change the direction of the country and we need to raise up a fresh generation of warriors to do that. That's why we have this tool. I invite you, go to the website, see for yourself. As investigators are looking at what is happening in New York and New Jersey regarding the recent attempted terrorist attacks, and they were still terrorist attacks, the bombs did go off and injured a lot of people, they're asking the wrong questions. Again, well, did he have contact with ISIS? Was he radicalized by some group? None are as blind as the willfully blind. All they have to do is look at the fact. Look at what he's reading. Look at what he's reading. Did you know that in the FBI's guidelines for counterterrorism, did you know that they specifically forbid FBI officials from looking at the religious material that a suspected terrorist is reading? The religious material. So if they're going to an ISIS website, yeah, that's bad. But if they're looking at the hadith that talk about Muhammad saying that he has been granted superiority over the other prophets because he has been given the use of terror. This is Muhammad's own words. Muhammad's saying, I have been given superiority over the other prophets because I've been allowed to strike terror, to use terror to convert people, and the spoils of war were made lawful to me. So he funded his original religion, and still to this day they do it, but he funded it with spoils of war. He would attack a group of people, he would kill them, and then he would take their wealth. Or he would exile them and take their wealth. That's Islam. It's their own words. So Muhammad knew, man, that's not what the other prophets did. So he said that God showed him he had been given superiority over the other prophets. So if a Muslim in Minnesota or in New Jersey or in New York is reading these sacred documents of Islam, the FBI is not allowed to use that as far as profiling and determining whether or not they're going to become a terrorist or they are a terrorist. It's ludicrous. It's insanity. That is one of the reasons that we are in danger, because we're being led by the blind. Okay? So pray for this series. I invite you to go to our website, go to voiceofresistance.com, watch the first episode, and pray for us, because it's getting out, and it's got to get out to millions of people. We'll see you tomorrow.